That's his account right there, currently live right now. And these are screenshots from his server. This is showing that this, youth was very explicit as to their age, that people within the server were responding to these specific comments, which means that obviously these people knew that these people were youths. This is another person responding to the same comment, all engaged in a conversation with who they all knew to be someone of that age. That's not the only time they said this. This is, if you notice, April 4th. January, February, March. Yeah, April 4th. And that's in the religion section. This is now April 5th. And here they are talking to another person saying the fact that I'm 1-4. Couldn't be more clear. And again, another person in the server responds to that specific comment, meaning there's no hiding that that's what they wore. This is another comment now in the miscellaneous, which is the main chat, where the person says, I'm this. Couldn't be more clear about what they are. Hang on just one moment. I just want to confirm something. This now is yet another one, and Peterson's claiming he didn't know, right? Peterson's claiming he didn't know. This is Peterson. That's him live right now. Take that screenshot so if this goes down, you're able to go right over to his platform and banana him. Take a screenshot right now. That's him live right now. This is him talking in his own server right here. This is April 10th at 10:39 a.m. 10:44. And here at 10:45, 6 minutes after Peterson posted, this MINOR says this again. So this is now 4 separate places on 4 different days in 3 different channels, one time literally while engaged in the conversation with Peterson, that they announced this. Yet, Peterson is claiming they didn't know. This is the other person. This right here is an MINOR, and this MINOR is talking to a high school junior, another MINOR. And this MINOR says, same, I can't find much at school. They're talking about high school. The high school junior says, you go to a religious school or what? You don't ask about religious colleges. You don't refer to a college as school. To me, this would be obvious that they're talking about high school. You go to a religious school or what? Because in my school, blankety blank, high school junior then talks to the MINOR. And the MINOR says, yeah, these people say the N-word and it doesn't do much. They may get punished by the school in some way, but their social life remains the same. They keep all the same friends. This one girl even said it casually in conversation in a classroom once. Yeah, so James, if you go over there and you confront him, he will block you immediately. So this is why I recommend people go to his live, take that screenshot right there. If this goes down, go over to his live and banana this guy. Take that screenshot right now because he's hiding the fact that his server had multiple MINORs and he's pretending he didn't know. Here's Peterson saying this comment up here. 2 comments later, this junior says, I realize that it's pretty important to find a like-minded community, especially for someone as blank as me who's still in blank. Yet he's claiming he has no idea. He had no idea there were all these MINORs in his server. That's him 1, 2, 3 messages later, this kid is saying that. This is now the same kid, same sequence, where they just said, especially for someone as blank as me who's still in high school. Then you have the MINOR, another one, responding to them. This is right after Peterson. Remember, that's Peterson right there. 1, 2, 3 comments later, high school junior says, as young as me. And then in response to that, another MINOR responds, same, I can't find much at school. These are all MINORs immediately talking after Peterson. And Peterson's claiming, how could I have known? Here's another instance. There's Peterson. There's the high school junior interacting with Peterson. Same thread. Just 3 messages later, this person says this. Weird question, not really an Ask Planet Peterson, but anybody who wants to answer, what was your weirdest high school experience so far for me? So far for me, it's just random kids being annoying. This couldn't be more clear. He's clearly stating in the TikTok shop for educational purposes only that he's still in high school. Then this adult responds to the MINOR and says, a guy tried to blank with a shoelace. Also, a guy got caught blanking off in the middle of class. I'm not trying to be a prude. I just think it's inappropriate for an adult to be talking about this with an MINOR. I'm not trying to be a prude. It's just too far. This adult then says, had a kid get caught blanking it on the bus. And another dude and his girlfriend blanking on a bus. To the high school junior. And then the adult responds, the teacher wasn't even hot either. The junior then responds, your guys' high schools were so much better. Why does the junior say that? Because they're a child. And then they say, I'm nearly blank done in blank. Now, I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm not sure they were actually necessarily a junior. I think they were, but this suggests to me they could be a sophomore or a junior. Or really bad at math. Why would you say 2/3 done? Wouldn't you be 3/4 done? I thought that was weird. Personally, I thought that was weird. Again, take that screenshot, because if this live goes down, that's where you're going, because he's live right now making money on the fact that he doesn't care. Yes, this is Peterson's Discord, where he claims, how could he know? And again, for those of you just arriving, how could he have known? I don't know. It could be when this one said their age. It could have been when this person responded. It could have been when this person said their age again. It could have been when this person said their age. It could have been where Peterson is here and 6 minutes later they say their age. It could have been when these two MINORs were talking about what it's like to be in high school. It could have been when Peterson was here and 1, 2, 3 comments later, this person says, especially for someone as blank as me who's still in high school. It could have been when another MINOR responded saying, same, I can't find much at school. It could have been when Peterson was involved in a conversation with the MINOR, and immediately the next screenshot shows the junior saying, what was your weirdest high school experience? So far for me, it's been blank. Then you have adults responding to the MINOR talking about this, which again, not trying to be too politically correct, but that's just inappropriate to say towards someone of that age. It's just inappropriate. Then you have this adult talking about doing this on a bus, and then talking about doing that on a bus, which then prompts the junior to say your schools were better, and then prompts the junior to say in no uncertain terms, I'm nearly 2/3 done. Yet again, this person is claiming I had no idea there were MINORs. Please take that screenshot and make sure you banana this person, because he should not be making money on this platform when he literally tailors his content towards children. This is just inappropriate. Here's where another one is talking about their only science course in college, to which the MINOR clarifies, nope, meaning not college, high school grade 11. This is a 33-year-old teacher, whose Discord had multiple MINORs who were very open about their age. And this man is currently denying all of this happened and or minimizing it. And he is blocking anyone who calls him out. I'm going to take, is there another screenshot? Yeah, there is. Great. So here again is this one who says, there's so many cool people in this server, and then there's me, a blank student. 2 messages later, Planet Peterson responds. Yet again, Planet Peterson is saying, I had no idea. This is the 5th time this one example has stated that they are this age. 5 times already. Is there 6? There is 6. Here is the high school junior. And here's the high school junior talking about trying to do good next year to get into college. Hey, Carmen. This is then them talking about what they want to do when they get to college, talking about college applications, which we know that in May, you're not going to college the next year if you're doing applications. That means you're a junior. At best, you're a junior. This person here, Blue, pretended there were no MINORs in the server and denied it. Couldn't be more clear. Here's the junior again saying they just have to do really good next year. Now, I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to ask all of you right now to go to that platform and report this live right now. I'll set a live goal. I'm going to take 60 seconds, go right now, and report that live right now. Yeah, Cheryl, I'm almost done getting all the receipts organized. It's just taken a lot of time. So go, you've got 60 seconds. I'm not going to be saying a single thing that is new information for the next 60 seconds. I'll put up a live goal because I know those help. Give me a moment. Set up new goal. Let's do roses because it's cheap. And then edit, manage goal, rows, 100. Great. All right, so that is up. 30 seconds left. Again, go over right now and report this person. They're live right now, but don't say anything in the comments. If you say anything in the comments, he's just going to banana you and block you. So don't do that. Go right now. You got 30 seconds. Report him. And then I'll continue with the receipts. So new receipts are, let's talk about him bullying a 15-year-old. Bullying. Okay? Hey, Phantom. This is a 15-year-old. That is the 5-year-old. The 5-year-old, I checked, didn't say a single thing that justified being bullied. They just believe in God. I don't have an issue with people who believe in God. I don't have an issue with people who believe in Jesus. I have an issue with people who then use that to justify hateful views. This youth didn't say anything hateful. All they were saying was Jesus loved Jesus blank. And these guys knew they were a child because look at this. Look at this adult saying, you're the type of student that calls a sentence a paragraph. So it's undeniable these guys knew they were bullying a MINOR. And here's the one MINOR interacting with another MINOR, while these two people, this person here is like a big supporter still of Peterson, who claims like this wasn't a big deal, this didn't really happen. Whereas this is the same guy who earlier was talking to the other MINOR. So here they are talking to someone who simply believes in God, and this one starts attacking their intellect. Then Peterson says to the 15-year-old, you're a dumbass, which again I just think is inappropriate to be saying to a 15-year-old youth. I just think that's inappropriate personally. I think it's highly inappropriate that Eric Planet Peterson, 33-year-old teacher, talked about a 15-year-old getting a blank from a blank. Now, I want to be clear. Planet Peterson has said, I didn't talk to any MINORs. I didn't talk to any MINORs. And then he said, I didn't talk to any MINORs inappropriately. This is Eric Planet Peterson, 33-year-old teacher from California. That's him live right now. That's his username. That's him telling a 15-year-old about getting a back alley blank. But apparently I'm the bad one. Here is another person in the server saying, I think the 15-year-old wants to challenge the current village idiot for the title. What they're referring about here is they often labeled youths. They gave them a role in the server called village idiot, which is just, you just don't do that with a child. This is now Planet Peterson talking about the 15-year-old wearing women's underwear. I think it's odd for a 33-year-old teacher to be talking about the underwear of an MINOR. Oh, are you guys surprised that I got some good receipts? Oh, I've spent so much time on getting these receipts. Because this guy said, none of this happened. He didn't know there were MINORs. He didn't think it was inappropriate. He didn't say anything schmexual. He didn't even talk to them. There's a lot of talking. It's a lot of talking for someone who doesn't do a lot of talking. Here's him saying, the Holy Spirit told me that the 15-year-old is the devil's blank. He's literally doing it right now. I want to be clear. I don't like engaging in gotchas, okay? So I recognize that if you have a server, a MINOR could sneak in, right? I understand that. I very much understand that, right? If he just had someone slip in, that would be one thing. But he didn't have any age verification process. He didn't care. And not only did he not care, he didn't care about the fact that the people who he was talking to were telling him that they're MINORs. And then he didn't care about the fact that, like, even if this is a joke, it is so inappropriate to say that to someone that age. So inappropriate for a 33-year-old teacher to say this to an MINOR. And it wasn't, again, I need to be super clear. This MINOR didn't say anything aggressive. I have proof Jesus is real. That's all they said. That's all they said. I only looked for the MINORs who didn't say anything that could be offensive, because I didn't want to give them an excuse. You don't say this to an MINOR, and you don't say it to one who's literally not doing anything that's deserving of being bullied in any way. You don't talk about an MINOR's underwear. Again, this guy live right now, take that screenshot, and if this live goes down because he's on a reporting binge on me, make sure that guy gets bananaed. This is him saying the 15-year-old is the devil's sodomite, and the devil's doing it right now. This is now another adult saying, why does it take so long for the 15-year-old to respond? Peterson says, they have 9 brain cells. That's inappropriate. This is now the 1 5-year-old being bullied by a 1 4-year-old in the server. I want to be clear again. Peterson has said his initial position was there's no MINORs, right? Then he changed it to Irish found 1 MINOR. But he denies he ever knew, and he denies he ever talked to them. Look at that page. MINOR, 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 MINOR. But he didn't talk to them, he didn't know. Here's the 14-year-old who was friends with Peterson bullying this other kid. This kid says, I'm going to oil you up, which is weird to say. Planet Peterson then says the child is stupid. This person then says something about dying. Peterson then asks the 15-year-old, what color were Jesus's blank? Now I'm going to pause the live right now so everyone can go over and report this live. Take that screenshot, Planet Peterson, and let me just show you real quick. If you click at the top left-hand corner, then this part pops up, and then you go over to the right, and this is the flag. You press that flag, and then you get options. And you don't want to do anything incorrect. He's not spreading this. He is suppressing people who disagree with him, so I think that's fair. That's very fair. He is unsafe, in my opinion. And I think that's fair. I think these two are probably the most appropriate. So please take 30 seconds and do that. Do not comment. If you comment, he will just banana you. Do not comment. He's pausing because he's probably being alerted, I'm guessing. Oh, God, I wish someone went up there and called him out on this right now. Guys, this is so inappropriate. Right now, he's got 224 people over there. This person who endangered minors knowingly, who's a teacher who should know better. Now, let's go back to the cold hard facts, shall we? Here is a 14-year-old saying to the 15-year-old, I'm going to oil you up. Here's Peterson calling them stupid. Here's Peterson then asking them, what about the color of Jesus's blank? This is now this guy who's also been attacking me. This is now someone saying this to a 15-year-old. Math, physics nerd. So, Sky, if you request, what I recommend is take this screenshot. And if you request, flash that screenshot right there. I'll hold it right there. You don't want to give him any advance notice. If you give him advance notice, he's going to block you. If you get up there, turn on your camera, and then make this image what he sees, and ask him, why were you talking schmexually to MINORs? That's the best way to beat him, is to join the live, join and get in that box, start to talk, flash that up, and before he can do anything, ask him, why are you hiding the fact you were talking schmexually to MINORs? Why are you hiding the fact you were talking schmexually to MINORs? So everyone get that screenshot. 5, 4, hang on, 5, actually let me center it. How about this? Hang on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get that screenshot. Okay? Now let's continue to see. This is now someone who has been attacking me. I want to be clear, is talking about a 9-inch blank to a 15-year-old. This is now one of the 14-year-old youths laughing at it, which I just think is a weird thing to do. This is now him asking, how does the 1 5-year-old know what color Jesus's pubes are? To which Planet Peterson says they have an intimate relationship. To which this man baby says, I love this server. It's my new entertainment. I want to be clear, the entertainment they're describing is bullying people that age. The entertainment is bullying people that age. This is now Peterson saying, so, MINOR, the point is you don't have an answer, so you have no right to criticize. They continue. Then they start talking about this, which is weird. Now, this is another one. This person is a young teen. Okay? This is Peterson saying this. Peterson ats the young teen and says, remember when I told you that you'd be back because you're desperate for attention and you said you didn't care. Turns out you do care. Turns out I'm a prophet. So what Peterson did was Peterson never kicked anybody from rarely kicked anybody from his server. What he would do is he would put them on a timeout to piss them off, and then they would come back a day or a week later, and then he would block them or mock them again. So here he is mocking the young teen for coming back. This person then says, ha ha, funny. That's the young teen. Then this person says, I think you're one of the dumbest people ever because you're so effing dumb. Because you're so effing dumb, it pisses the F out off. It pisses me off, so F off with your blank ASS. Saying this to a young teen. This person then says, acknowledging how old they are, right? This is why when they say they didn't know, why would you ask this question? One day you'll be 13, and then you'll be able to come up with good insults. How are you going to claim I didn't know they were MINORs, but you asked that question? And this is why I suspect they're a young teen. If someone said this to you, one day you'll be that, and they respond with that, to me that makes them what, 14? Maybe 15? What do you think? Like, what would you guess? Everyone in the comments, give me your best guess. Somebody tries to insult you by saying you're that, and you respond by saying, actually, yeah, I would say 14 or 15. I believe if he was 16, he would want to say, I'm 16. But you say this to keep it vague. You say this to keep it vague because you know you're really close. Because if you're 16, that's far enough away, you're like, no, I'm a sophomore. What are you talking about? So to me, this is them confirming. I'm 14, maybe 15. Then this person says, you clearly aren't with insults like that. Then the young teen who said, I'm older than that. The 4-year-old in the server says, if you're older, then you should go back to your special needs school, like honestly with yo goofy blank. To which this person responds, I'll see you there. They then start referring to him as the village idiot because they gave this child the role, meaning if you clicked on his profile, it said village idiot. Then they're recognizing his important role as the village idiot. What I mean by calling this out is they used these MINORs for humor. That's what, I'm not trying to be performative with my outrage. They used young MINORs for entertainment where they would mock and bully them. And they just labeled them that. It's so gross. This is where they're saying shows how you are the village idiot. Now, again, this person's just saying things like Jesus loves you. This person's not being angry or saying anything inappropriate, to which Peterson says, gave you an additional role. What he's referring to again is, previously, this youth was simply called village idiot. That was his role. Then he added another insulting role to his profile, To which the youth says, adds nothing. And Peterson says, yeah, adds nothing we didn't already know. Then they have the audacity to give him the racist label. Peterson says, the young teen says, I get called racist? And obviously the young teen is African American. Are you racist? And then Peterson says, well, I should probably say xenophobic, but I can guarantee you can't pronounce nor tell us the meaning of that word. I tried to meet you at your level. To which this person says, show me something racist I said. And what they show here is this guy, the young child, simply said, I'm just back in the zoo to watch you animals. I don't think that's racist. Then Peterson says to the young teen, and you worship a genocidal cosmic dictator who got his own mom pregnant and had himself nailed to a post. Bro is mentally ill. Again, I just think it's inappropriate to be called a 33-year-old teacher to be calling a young teen mentally ill. The young teen says, are you making fun of the mentally ill? I tolerate people that are mentally ill because Jesus told me to love anyone. Again, this kid is religious, and I'm not religious, but I don't mock people who believe in God. Again, I only mock people who believe in God and use the Bible to justify harmful beliefs. That's not what this kid was doing. Peterson then responds to this. Are you making fun of the mentally ill? Because I tolerate people that are mentally ill because Jesus told me to love everyone. And Peterson responds, you're pathetic. Again, I'm going to get through the last of his because this is where the tone deafness and honestly the racism comes into play. Planet Peterson called the young black kid racist.